Welcome to Season 2, Episode 15 of Angela Watson's Truth for Teachers. I'm your host, Angela Watson, and I'm here to speak life, encouragement, and truth into the minds and hearts of educators and get you energized for the week ahead. Today, I'm going to wrap up Season 2 of the podcast by sharing some thoughts on how to balance teaching and family during the holiday season. Visit truthforteachers.com to get the transcript, links to recommended resources, and share your thoughts on the show. So I know that Season 2 has been a short one. And honestly, I need to take a few weeks off to regroup before Season 3 begins in January. I plan to run Season 3 through the entire winter and spring period, so I want to have some time to relax and also to prepare before then. And I also know that you all are about to become super busy with the holiday season, so I think it's a good time for a break. I thought I'd use this last episode of the season to talk about what's going to happen in your classroom during these few remaining weeks of 2015. I want to encourage you not to feel pressure to do all of the elaborate holiday stuff that some teachers like to do. I mean, so what if the teacher across the hall covers her room in tinsel and lights and creates all these holiday theme centers and culminates her unit in a life-size replica of the first North Pole expedition? Don't compare yourself. You don't have to do that. Don't wear yourself out trying to keep up with someone like that. New teachers especially need to resist the urge to take on more than they can handle. It's perfectly fine to figure out some really simple, festive things you can do that won't create a lot of stress or chaos, and just stick with those. You can always add a little more next year. And that advice goes double for buying students presents. That gets really out of control in some schools. Your teammate may choose to spend a lot of money on trinkets, and that's fine, but you're not a bad teacher if you don't. Now, even if you do go all out for fun memory-making experiences, that's something you really enjoy, it's really fun for you, it's not something you want to miss out on, try to do it earlier in the week. And that way you can plan a low-key day for the last day of school before holiday break. Now, if you do things on the last day, half the class is probably going to be out anyway, so it's going to be wasted. And 3 hours before you pack up your entire family and make an 8-hour trip to grandma's house is not exactly the best time to plan an elaborate, messy activity that's going to hype up your kids and wear you out. On the last day before break, you're going to be distracted by your own holiday plans. You're going to be distracted by trying to do last-minute grades and all these work tasks that you need to complete before you go. And any kids who actually do show up to school are going to be too excited to follow directions anyway. So you're going to be running around like crazy to clean so that you can leave on time. Instead of doing that to yourself on the last day before break, focus on creating meaningful, enjoyable work assignments that the kids will have fun completing and just enjoy that last day together. Having a low-key last day will also help you get prepared for your return to school. This isn't as big of a deal with the Thanksgiving break since it's short, but I found it's really critical for the Christmas or winter break. There's nothing worse than coming back to work after a week or two off to discover silver glitter and half-finished thank you cards all over your desk. When a new year is coming, you naturally are going to want to give yourself a fresh, new start. So try to use the day before break to take down any seasonal decorations that you have up and change your calendar, finalize your lesson plans, get your materials ready for the first day back, and that sort of thing. Now, as far as working over your holiday break, you might choose to do some work, or you might not. I don't really have strong opinions on this one way or another. If there's a big task that's going to be hanging over your head and causing you to feel a sense of dread instead of relaxation, then I think, you probably should try to make at least a dent in that project over your break. And similarly, if you know that the first day is going to be a nightmare if you don't prepare some of your lesson materials right now, then give yourself the gift of preparation. Go ahead and work on that over break. Just create boundaries around your family time. That's all. Schedule in a few hours to work on the task over your break. Really stay focused, work hard, be dedicated. Don't try to multitask or keep coming out to check on your family. Have no distractions. Get it done. And then when that time period is up, those few hours that you set aside for this, force yourself to quit. I've always felt that it's very hard to keep a work-life balance on a daily basis as a teacher. So for me, it's better to think about it in terms of seasons. There will be some days and some weeks when work just consumes everything that you have, and you're going to feel like a failure as a spouse and a parent if you focus on that. So instead, think about the seasons of being a teacher. You have around 8 weeks each summer and several long weekends and lengthy vacation periods throughout the school year that most jobs don't permit. So those are times when just about everybody else is still focusing on work, but you can devote yourself to your family and friends and hobbies and anything else that you want or need to do. So think of your time off in November and December as being a time for you to tip the balance back toward the aspects of your life that are apart from work. Allow yourself to think more about your loved ones, more about creating memories together, remembering that back in August and September, you were more focused on your students and your job. It is okay for work to come second right now. In fact, I think that's healthy. You're going to feel guilty about it probably, but it really is a healthy thing to do. Stay focused when you're at school. Give 100% during your contractual hours, but don't order takeout on Thanksgiving because you were grading papers all morning and you didn't have time to cook. I recommend making a list of things that you want to accomplish over your break, and include not only household tasks that need to be done and things that need to happen at home, but also things that you want to enjoy. Write down things like decorating the house for the holidays, driving around, looking at decorations, even sleeping in, even finishing a book. Anything that you want to experience during your break should be written down, because once it's written down, that's going to make it more likely to get done. And it's also going to keep you from having to hold this lengthy to-do list in your mind at all times. You don't want your mind racing thinking, oh man, I haven't gotten a chance to do this. I didn't get to do this. I've only got 3 days left. Avoid all that panic. Write it down. And once you have your list, put a star by the things that you absolutely have to do. The things that you would not want to return to school again without having experienced or having accomplished. And then when your break arrives, schedule those things into your daily to-do list. Yes, I recommend keeping a daily to-do list even on your vacation. Write down things on your list the night before. Look at your long list of things you want to do and move a couple of them over into your list for the next day. Say, tomorrow, I am baking cookies with my kids. Tomorrow, I'm going to allow myself 30 minutes to read and relax. You might not get to everything on your list, but you can make sure that the most important things, the stuff that you put a star by, gets scheduled in. Make that your priority. Now, if you're struggling to make time for what matters most in life, and you feel like you just can't possibly have enough time for being a great teacher and taking care of yourself and taking care of everything at home, I really want you to consider joining the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek Club. It's a 1-year subscription that I created to offer ongoing support to teachers as they learn how to create healthy boundaries around their time. I opened up the club for the very first time to a really limited number of members in October, but we're going to be accepting new members again right after the holidays. And the club is actually going to be my number one focus personally for the rest of the fall and the winter. I can honestly say that creating the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek Club has been one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my support for teachers. Last year at this time, I was writing my book. I was writing Unshakable, 20 Ways to Enjoy Teaching Every Day, No Matter What. And at times, it was a really lonely and kind of unrewarding process. When I'm writing a book, it's just me sitting in my chair, writing into the void, no idea how it's going to impact teachers, no idea if it's even going to be useful. And I had to wait until the entire book was done and published and in teachers' hands to start hearing about how it had helped them. But with the 40-Hour Teacher Workweek Club, I've got hundreds of teachers in a Facebook group sharing their struggles and doing this work-life balance thing together. I've been researching and documenting stuff for the club for several years, but it's all in this massive 250-page Google Doc. So what I'm doing is each month, I'm listening to the teachers in the club, and I'm using what I've written to help me create resources that solve club members' exact problems. So every Saturday, I'm sharing more tips and more time-saving resources with them. And then if they want to, they can report back in the Facebook group and share how it's going. So we celebrate one another's successes. We give advice to help each member really personalize the tips for their unique teaching context. And I listen to see what else I can do to help them. And for me, it's so much fun because I feel like I'm not just making cool stuff that would be nice for teachers to have, but I'm making stuff that improves teachers' quality of life. This is stuff that lessens their stress and gives them back the time they need for the most precious things in their lives. And I have just been blown away by some of the testimonies of people in the club. We have club members who have already, just in these first 6 weeks, they've already created systems for themselves that allow them to cut 10 hours off their work week. We have people who have gone from 60 to 50 hours already. We have people who've gone from 55 to 45 hours already. I think pretty much everyone that I've heard from at this point has cut at least a couple hours off of their work week, and that's more time for their family. We have club members who have been posting in the Facebook group while literally in tears because they are so relieved at how much more on top of things they feel. And that sense of teacher guilt is fading away because they're finally able to get ahead. They finally have figured out what's most important for them to do and created a plan for getting it all done. One story in particular was really amazing and really touched me. We have a member who always spent her entire Sunday afternoon grading papers. For years, this has been her normal routine. And for the first time ever, she had her grading done during the work week, and she was able to spend Sunday teaching her grandkids how to bake cookies. I mean, you can't get any better than that, right? That's what it's all about. That's what life is all about. Those precious moments with the people that we care about. And how can we reclaim those as educators? This is the kind of stuff that I'm reading on a daily basis in that Facebook group. And it is so exciting to see teachers who are willing to invest the time and energy into creating a better life for themselves. I wake up every day excited to check into the group and see what they're up to and make more stuff for them. Because this is a group who is tired of the status quo. This is a group of teachers who is no longer embracing the myth that we have to be teacher martyrs and we just have to give of ourselves endlessly at great personal sacrifice to our own health, to our own spouses, to our own children, in order to give to our students. They're letting go of that whole myth. They believe that there must be a better way to do this teaching thing. There must be daily productivity hacks they can try. There must be better systems. And they're doing the work to bring my tips and strategies to reality in their own lives. So maybe you heard about the club before and you didn't join because you weren't sure really what it was all about, or you weren't sure if it was going to be worth the subscription price. I'm telling you, if you love my blog, my podcast, my books, my teaching resources, you need to be in this club. It's everything that I have ever written for teachers times 100. And I've never been more excited about the impact on teachers' lives of something that I have the honor of doing. So if you like my other resources, my voice and my tips, my strategies resonate with you and have made a difference for you, this is something that you are going to benefit from. It really is more of the same times 100. I can't put it any other way as far as impact goes. It is the most impactful thing that I've ever had the honor of creating. You do not have to be discouraged and overwhelmed all the time just because you chose teaching as your profession. You do not have to feel like you are constantly drowning in work and never able to get ahead. I want to show you how to create systems and habits and routines that help you prioritize and organize your tasks and get them done more efficiently. So the club is only open to new members a couple times a year because I want to keep a sense of continuity and build a real sense of community in the Facebook group without having people joining and leaving all the time. So the next time that the club opens is going to be the day after Christmas. It's going to be December 26th. in preparation for January, which is when we're going to kick off the new year with time-saving strategies for grading and assessment. So it technically begins for new members in January, but you can begin starting the day after Christmas, just to make sure that you have a chance to get in there, you've been added to the Facebook group, you have all your resources, and you're ready to go. So it's a 1-year membership, and you can pay it up front and save 20%. So it's only $99 as a one-time fee. Or you can pay in installments of $9.95 a month. Now remember, this is not like a bill that you are stuck with for the rest of your life. You only pay for 1 year, and then you have ongoing access to the Facebook group and all the club resources indefinitely after that. It's a 1-year program. I will teach you everything you need to know and give you the time and support to apply those ideas and create your new systems and routines during the course of that 1 year. And then afterward, you have it all to keep, and you have the Facebook group for ongoing support to help you maintain what you created. So think of it as a New Year's resolution. Promise yourself, I'm going to use 2016 to create more effective strategies for doing my job. I want to enjoy my job more, and I want to have more time for other things that are important to me. Give yourself and your family the best gift you could ever give at the holiday season. Invest in having more time, less stress. There's nothing more valuable than that. The results that this group of teachers and this club are experiencing is amazing. You don't want to miss out on this. So if you're listening to this before Christmas, you can't join yet. Here's what you do. Go to 40htw.com. So it's 40htw.com. That's for 40-hour teacher workweek. And once you're there, you can learn more about the club and enter your email address. And I'll start sending you free time-saving tips periodically between now and January to kind of give you a head start. And the first thing I'm going to send you is a free Getting Started guide that will help you figure out a target number of hours for you to work each week. Most of the people in the club are not aiming for 40 hours. They're picking their own target number. That's what I'm encouraging you to do because everyone's teaching context is different. So this free Getting Started guide will help you figure out what is realistic for you right now, what is feasible for you, and then figure out how to allot those hours that you've set aside into a schedule that works for your life. And of course, most importantly, how to stick to that schedule. So you'll get all that for free in your email. And then at the end of December, I'll send you an email telling you, okay, it's finally time. You can head over to 40htw.com and you can join. So I'd like to leave you with a motivational quote for the weeks ahead that I call the takeaway truth. And here's the takeaway truth that I want you to remember. It's a quote from Betsy Jacobson, who said, "Balance is not better time management, but better boundary management." Balance means making choices and enjoying those choices. So as the holidays approach, I encourage you to set real boundaries around your time and choose to do the things that matter most to you. Have a fantastic holiday season. You can do this. And remember, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it. Truth for Teachers is a proud member of the Education Podcast Network. Podcasts for educators, podcasts by educators. For more great podcast recommendations, go to edupodcastnetwork.com. That's edupodcastnetwork.com.